You probably think you already know turkeys. Big bird, Thanksgiving dinner, not the sharpest creature in the barnyard. But what if I told you almost everything you think you know about turkeys is wrong? By the end of this video, you will understand why turkeys are one of the most underestimated animals on the planet. You will learn about a second species that looks like a peacock crossed with a living gemstone, a history that connects 3 continents, athletic abilities that would embarrass most humans, social structures more complex than your neighborhood book club, and intelligence that includes recognizing your face and seeing ultraviolet light. If you stick around, you will never look at a turkey the same way again. And if you love discovering hidden secrets about ordinary animals, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel, Wings of Nature, exists to uncover the unbelievable truths about birds you thought you already understood. Let us begin. First thing, most people think there is one turkey, the wild turkey, and maybe a farm version. Wrong. There are actually 2 species on Earth. The one you know is the wild turkey, Melligrass gallopavo, native to North America. But hiding in the forests of Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize is a second species called the ocellated turkey, Melligrass ocellata. This bird looks like a turkey that decided it wanted to be a peacock. Its head is bright electric blue with orange and red bumps called caruncles. Its tail feathers have iridescent eye-like spots that shimmer gold and bronze in the sunlight. Hunters and birdwatchers consider the ocellated turkey one of the most beautiful game birds in the world. And here's the strange part. While the wild turkey has 5 distinct subspecies that adapt to everything from swamps to prairies to suburban backyards, the ocellated turkey sticks strictly to the tropical lowlands of the Yucatan Peninsula. That means 2 species, same family, completely different worlds. But here is where it gets even weirder. The wild turkey you see strutting across a field in Ohio might actually be a descendant of a bird that first lived in Mexico thousands of years ago. That brings us to the second point, and this is the one that will mess with your sense of history. If you miss the next part, you miss the real reason turkeys are woven into human civilization deeper than any holiday dinner. Wild turkeys were first domesticated not by European colonists, but by indigenous Mesoamerican peoples over 2,000 years ago. The Maya and the Aztecs raised turkeys for food, for feathers used in ceremonial cloaks and headdresses, and even for their bones, which were turned into tools and musical instruments. When Spanish conquistadors arrived in the early 1500s, they encountered these domesticated birds and sent them back across the Atlantic. The birds arrived in Europe and quickly became a delicacy. English farmers began raising them, and here is where the name gets interesting. European traders shipped these birds through the Ottoman Empire, specifically through the region of Turkey, so English buyers called them turkey birds, as in birds from Turkey. The name stuck even after colonists brought the birds back to North America. So the bird, named after a country in Europe and Asia, actually originated in the Americas. That is a full circle migration spanning half the globe over 5 centuries. Next time someone says something is as dumb as a turkey, remind them that turkeys helped shape the diets, economies, and trade routes of 3 continents. Now, let us talk about something most people see and immediately dismiss. That awkward waddle, the way they bob their heads, the oversized body that seems like it should barely be able to lift itself off the ground. You are about to find out that this bird is hiding some serious athletic secrets. The third thing you did not know is that turkeys are built for speed, power, and surprise. A wild turkey can run at 25 miles per hour on the ground. That is faster than the average human sprint. When they decide to fly, they can hit over 50 miles per hour in short bursts. Their wings produce a loud whistling sound on takeoff that wildlife biologists call the alarm whistle. This sound is so distinctive that other birds in the area recognize it as a danger signal and flee before they even see the predator. Let that sink in. A turkey takes off, and its wings literally broadcast a warning message to the whole forest. And if running and flying are not enough, turkeys can also swim. When they encounter water, they tuck their wings tight against their bodies, spread their tail feathers like a rudder, and kick their legs to paddle across streams and ponds. Male turkeys also grow leg spurs that can reach over an inch long. These are sharp, bony projections on the back of their legs, used in fights over dominance and mates. During breeding season, toms will leap at each other, slash with these spurs, and even draw blood. The winner earns the right to court the hens. So that slow-walking bird in the field is actually a feathered athlete with multiple survival skills, including underwater travel. And if you think that is impressive, wait until you hear about their social lives, because the fourth thing is going to change how you see their behavior forever. Turkeys are not loners, and they are not simple. They live in complex, layered societies with specific communication systems. Male turkeys, called toms or gobblers, spend the spring performing elaborate courtship displays. They puff out their feathers, fan their tails into a perfect semicircle, drag their wingtips on the ground, and produce a low, resonant drumming sound combined with the classic gobble that can be heard up to a mile away. But here is the detail most people miss. Each male has a unique gobble. Females, called hens, can recognize individual males by their voice. Hens choose mates based on the quality of the display, the condition of the feathers, and the strength of the vocal performance. After mating, the hen builds a nest on the ground, well hidden in brush, lays between 8 and 18 eggs, and handles all incubation and chick rearing alone. She communicates with her poults, which is the name for baby turkeys, using a vocabulary of at least 20 distinct vocalizations. Clucks mean gather close, purrs mean everything is safe, yelps mean follow me, and alarm putts, a sharp series of notes, mean freeze or hide immediately. In winter, multiple family groups merge into superflocks that can exceed 200 birds. These flocks coordinate movement, share information about food sources, and post sentries to watch for danger. This is not random wandering. This is structured, vocal, cooperative animal behavior. And that brings us to the final point, the one that might genuinely shock you. Turkeys are smarter than you think. In fact, they might be smarter than some animals we consider highly intelligent. Research on wild turkeys has revealed that they have excellent spatial memory. They can remember the locations of dozens of food patches across territories of several square miles. They remember which trees produce the best acorns and when. They recall where they found reliable water sources months earlier. But here is the most surprising finding. Turkeys can recognize individual human faces. Studies on captive and wild populations show that turkeys react differently to people who have previously threatened them compared to neutral or friendly humans. They remember. They associate faces with experiences and adjust their behavior accordingly. That is not instinct. That is learned recognition memory. Hens also use a sophisticated alarm calling system. When they spot a predator, they produce a specific call that tells the chicks what kind of threat is approaching. A call for a ground predator, like a coyote, sounds different from a call for an aerial predator, like a hawk. The chicks respond differently depending on the call, and their vision is one of the most advanced in the animal kingdom. Turkeys have a wide field of view, nearly 300 degrees, and they can see in ultraviolet light. Humans cannot see UV, but turkeys can. This means they perceive patterns on feathers, subtle color differences in plants, and even trace markings on the ground that are completely invisible to us. Mates that look plain to human eyes may appear brilliantly patterned under UV light. This gives them an entire layer of information about the world that we cannot access. And while we are on the topic of myths, let me kill one right now. You have probably heard that turkeys are so dumb they will look up at the rain and drown. That is false. A turkey can tilt its head back to drink rainwater without any problem. The myth likely started because young turkeys, poults, can get into trouble during heavy cold rains if they are not sheltered by their mother. But an adult turkey drowning from looking up? Complete fiction. The persistence of this myth says more about how we underestimate animals than it does about any actual turkey behavior. So let us recap. 2 species exist, not one. Turkeys have a global trade history that goes back 2,000 years. They can run 25 miles an hour, fly over 50, and swim. They have complex social structures with individual recognition and 20 distinct calls. And they can remember your face, see ultraviolet light, and distinguish between different predator warnings. The bird on your holiday table is a distant relative of one of the most adaptable, intelligent, and athletic creatures in North America. If this video changed how you see turkeys, hit that subscribe button. Wings of Nature brings you the hidden science behind the birds you thought you already knew. There is a whole world of surprising animal intelligence out there, and we are just getting started. Thanks for watching.